Okay, here again, and we're going to be talking about Rotom this time. Rotom being the lesser of the three objectives, the one that nobody really goes for. And I feel like a lot of people underestimate Rotom. He usually lives up here. He'll be here a little bit later. Um, the reason that Rotom isn't as sought after as, say, Bottom Lane is there's a few things. The first thing being this. So if you can see, you can just go straight to your gate and right to Rotom and still have your shield. That makes any Rotom fight scary because all you can really do is just watch as they go back and come back and fight. The fight against Rotom really is a who gets the last hit. It's incredibly easy for the enemy team to just leave. In fact, the reason that anyone would get Rotom would be if the top lane had managed to take this particular gate right here. So let's just say you've had a really good top lane. You've got a Slowbro up top with a really good Froakie who've managed to take this gate down. Now, the fact of the matter is, once that gate's down, you have an absolute sizable advantage when it comes to getting this Rotom. Because you get shields and you can easily just retreat and come back in a matter of seconds. Especially with something like Escape. You could just go into this bush and they could whittle it down for you, take a few bits on Rotom, go in and bam, just dead. Now, what the deal is with Rotom is, you don't really want to get him early. I mean, sure he's good, you get about 20, but he's not as important as Drednaw. That's why, generally speaking, people ignore the first Rotom, but the second Rotom. Now, the second Rotom is a stinger. It's way better than the first Rotom, simply because Roti Boy here has the opportunity for your entire team to just run down top and get rid of this little gate down here. Now, what makes this one so important is that it actually guards the home base. Now, the fact of the matter is, on that gate, the enemy team can jump to it and interrupt you. They can't do that on the home base. They have to physically run out. Which, believe it or not, is easier to understand when they're going to be back. Because you'll get the little timers on the top of when they've died. So the thing is, Rotom can be a really good choice. If you get the first Drednaw, you can ignore the second Drednaw, get this guy over to that bit, and while they're taking down the Drednaw, you and your entire team can sneak in and be like, hey, guess what? We took out your entire base. Now, what makes that really an advantage is that they then have to stay far back to protect that base. And when the Zapdos fight comes up, they're going to be split between two fronts. And that gives you a very, very cool opportunity there. Like, if they want to sit around Zapdos and try and take it, you can have about a few ranged people just sitting, being scary around Zapdos. And you can have anyone who's got their score just sneak around and get it in their main base. You could even have somebody just sit around their main base and keep scoring while you pick off tiny bits in a group of 3 around there, and you can just effectively get a really good situation out of Rotom here. Now, here's the other really good point about Rotom. If you get Rotom in at, if you set him off at about the 10 seconds past 2 minutes mark, once that goes down, he's going to get you an instant cap, like this. Now, if you get that on this, when there's 2 minutes or less remaining, you're going to do double points. And double points is it's the be all and end all. And they can't stop you. Generally speaking, they'd be able to stop you at that point. So once Rotom's there, if your entire team just runs down and scores all those points, you won't even need Zapdos at the time, because if you've got everybody with their points stored up and they haven't died too much, you're going to get about 400 points easy if you've got the entire team there, or a sneaky 100 points if you've got somebody who's just going to sneak in while the Zapdos fight is happening. And the thing about this area over here is you can actually get somebody to get back to the center area quite easily, because if you look, you got this here. Imagine you just score, you go back over, you've got a bush there which stops any attacks, and boom, you're back in the Zapdos team fight. Really quick. It's actually really easy. Say if you know the Rotom's coming down and the Zapdos about to happen, they ain't gonna defend that Rotom because it's not beneficial to them unless they really don't want the Rotom there. At which point you've got an advantage in the middle anyway. So if you just wait in say this bush or this bush, put your score in. Obviously can't do that right now. Then run along here. Might use your escape button if you really need to. Get back in the fight. Get some stuff in. Now the thing about Rotom is he's not gonna get you as many points, but the thing is he's gonna get you dunks, and if you get dunks with Rotom, what that gets you is it gets you 10% of your Unite boost. Any amount of energy around the area will get you 10% of that. So Roddy Boy here is a really niche thing. I mean, obviously he's second to Drednaw, but if you use him right, he can be even better than Drednaw because he can provide you a really sizable positioning advantage and a really sizable point advantage at a critical juncture. Because once you've got the points ahead of them, you no longer need to take Zapdos. You just need to stop them taking Zapdos. And if they're busy auto-attacking and throwing their skills on Zapdos, you've got all your skills and your Unites to just waste them. You can just do that. Rotom allows you to be in that situation, which is really good. I mean, if you're going to lose a Drednaw, and you know you are because you've got a level disadvantage, just go for the sneaky Dunk Fest up at the top. Put them in that situation where they have to defend right back at the base, rather than that, and then you can just pick them off. You have to put them in the situation where they can't be in a team fight, because if they're in a team fight, if all 5 of them are sat around Zapdos, just rush down here and have somebody just go right into their base. That's one way you could win without effectively needing to do the Zapdos at all. Obviously this technique is going to be really good if you've got like Floatstone, XP Share, Absol or something. Any character who's really speedy, like Zeraora there. You could do this with anyone. You could even do it with this. But yeah, the thing is, Rotom is a good boy. He's a good boy. Or a good whatever he is. So yeah, if you want to use Rotom, that's a strategy that is perfectly available. He is a good sneaky mechanic. But don't rely on him too much. If you can take the opportunity, do it. It's a way to get a comeback without relying too heavily on a Drednaw fight. If your team are not good at Drednaw fights and you want to be a solo hero, come take the Rotom. Rotom is very takeable with one character. Not so much with tanks or supports, except for Wigglytuff. But if you want to get one person to sit up here and try and take Rotom while they're busy on another objective, or your team's got them pinned down against a gate, that's going to definitely help out. So yeah. That's the deal with Rotom. I hope this helps you guys out. Zapdos claims another Zeraora. Rest in peace, Zera. And I hope that you have a pleasant day, and this helps you out. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye for now.